What's up, guys? Back with another viewer requested cut test, and this time it's a Benchmade mini grip in 154 cm. I really do like this knife. I called Benchmade and they gave me the Parkerized split arrow clip. I just like the size, I like the blade shape, I like the steel. There's nothing really I dislike about this knife. I just don't carry it much. I actually like the handles on this smaller knife. This is one of my favorite knives as far as cheaper stuff goes. And it's not cheap, it's just not $400. So, ready to see how this performs. It's about a 30-degree inclusive edge. Polished to around 6,000 grit, and it is a hair whittling edge. If it's not full hair whittling status, it's very, very, very close to it. So I'll show initial sharpness, which is ridiculous. Extremely, extremely, extremely sharp. This is just like always, roughly 9 feet of 3/8 inch sisal rope, and I'll just go ahead and get to it. I can already tell you that this thing cuts very, 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 very well. I wasn't expecting that. The geometry of this knife must be really, really good, because it slices better than the paramilitary 2 to me. It takes much less effort to get to the rope, or get through the rope, than the Para 2 does. So I'm going to test sharpness after the first few cuts. Very, very, very good. I can barely tell I've even cut anything. Look at that, I can actually back up on the blade and not actually touch the blade at all, and still get through the rope with ease. I'm talking ease. I don't know how to explain it to y'all. This thing, probably the top 3 edges that have cut through this rope so far. Second place will be Kylie's convex knife. First place is the ZDP Stretch, and this has to be third place. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous how easy it's cutting through. I actually was not expecting that at all. I was expecting it to be fairly hard to get through the rope, but it's not. That's why I like doing these tests, because I have these preconceived notions of what a knife is, and then I do these tests and it just goes the complete opposite way. I'm going to go ahead and test sharpness again. Still very, very sharp. That's the whole length of the blade. So the part that has been cutting the rope still does cut foam book paper. As you can see, I've had some people argue with me over that, but as you can see, that's the part of the edge that has been cutting. I love it when people argue with me over this. They tell me that I'm not cutting with a part of the rope that has been cutting with a part of the edge that has been cutting the rope, and they're telling me they can see it right there on film. And I say, look, I don't care what you're seeing on the film. I was the one that did it, and I know exactly what part of the edge I was cutting with. It just blows my mind that people will dispute me. YouTuber Cliff Stamp just laid into my test and told me that I was doing a disservice to people because I was misrepresenting the knives. And I told him, look, I'm not representing the knives in any way. I'm just cutting, and then I'm telling you how it cut, and I'm telling you if it held its edge or not. I'm not claiming anything. This isn't peer-reviewed science. This is just me cutting some freaking rope on a cutting board. Anyway, he kind of bugged me with that. I don't know how he can see what I'm doing better than I can, but whatever. I didn't argue with him. I just told him that if he doesn't like my results, then he should do his own cut tests and form his own conclusions. So, going to test sharpness. That's the part of the blade that has been cutting the rope. Still able to slice phone book paper. It's not pretty, it's not clean, but it's getting through it. And that's 154 cm. That's pretty impressive for a, what, $60, $70 knife? This thing definitely has some cutting performance. I actually like it a lot more now. I know this cutting board doesn't chew up my fingers like the other one was, so that's nice. Let's try a push cut. Well, I had a little bit of a slice in there. Go ahead and test again, see if we can still slice. I would say that it has pretty much lost its phone book paper. Well, never mind. If I don't take my time and lag through it, then it actually still cuts it. And that's the part of the blade that has been cutting the rope. So, it's not pretty, but it still cuts it. I'd say 33% of the time it cuts through. So it's still pretty sharp. I wasn't expecting it to be able to cut through fairly early on. I'm going to go ahead and finish out this rope. Before I test the sharpness again. I think I'll go ahead and test again. Still barely able to get through it, but it does get through it. That's damn good in my eyes. Damn good. Alright, last cut. See what she can do. If I whip it through there and don't allow it time to hang on the rolls, then it still kind of gets through there. But it's so sporadic that I can't call it a true phone book paper slicing edge. I'll try it one more time. There's very minimal rolls in the edge though, which is surprising with this acute of an angle. Actually, it's still able to slice. I know people are going to dispute me on this, but that's the whole length of the edge, from heel to tip. There you go. See, I ended right there. That wasn't. That was. So, it still kind of slices phone book paper, which is pretty surprising to me. Anyway, there it is, guys. Benchmade mini grip, 154 cm. I give it my stamp of approval for sure. I mean, that's a lot better than what I was expecting. So, anyway, hope y'all take away something from this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.